Namaste, Sitaram, a pleasant good morning. Welcome to Rudraaya. I am your host, Nisha Sharma, and Rudraaya is being brought to you with kind compliments of Maharujadev Mandir. And of course, the Mandir is located at 850 Tapscott Road, Unit 34 in Scarborough, with Tapscott and McNichol being our closest intersection. So we just want to say, last week we hope all mothers had a wonderful Mother's Day. And of course, it is not only on Mother's Day that you should remember your mother, but remember your mothers all year through. Without further ado, we'll join our spiritual leader, Pandit Ravi Sharma, for our Katha. Enjoy.
Devi Bhagavatam speaks of the glories, and we tend to hear more of the glories of Mother in the form of Sri Durga, Sri Mata Lakshmi, Sri Mata Saraswati, and all the different manifestations. And how devotees like you and I, when we're going through trying times, and I'm sure there isn't one except young children. None of us are exception to the rule because we have all gone through trials and tribulations in life. Our scriptures tells us that if we will sincerely pray in such a manner that to melt the heart of the Lord, ask in such a way that when a child asks of the parents, that the parents will find any means to fulfill the wish or the need of a child. Put on the child first. Devotees, what is there that a true parent, and when I speak about parents, true parents, mother and father will not do for a child? Many parents, they will all say the same, that I will give my child what I could not afford, or a life that I did not have. I will make sure that my children will not go through in such a position. And so we make every means. Sometimes there are those who will be able to fulfill all of these wishes. Sometimes it is not. But what is the true definition of mother? And there are many definitions that have been given about mother. For me, I believe that the true definition of mother, as I always explain and state, is the mother who will kneel and put the hands together and pray for the children, that may they aspire, may they become better than me, may they aspire and achieve all the goals in life. You see, when a child is young, everything they will ask of mommy and daddy. Mommy and daddy, I have a trip in school. Mommy and daddy pays for it. As the child itself goes older, mommy and daddy, I want such and such. Mommy and daddy provides. Mommy and daddy, I have to pick courses in school. What do you think? Mommy and daddy will say, well, what do you like? Or what do you like more? And of course, we all have dreams and ambitions for our own children. What we would like them to be. We would like them to be such and such, and necessarily what they like. And sometimes they agree, sometimes they choose different paths. Suffice you to say, every decision that is made by a child, they will consult mostly mommy first. Father was always one who was working on all sides, for those of us who have been brought up in this age. But suffice you to say, sometimes when child itself now becomes elderly or becomes grown up now, so sometimes they forget or they think that perhaps everything that I've worked for, it is only because of my own. And so we should never forget the seeds that have been planted within us, that is allowed to become fruit within us. And we should never ever forget those who held us in such high esteem and made us to what we are. So sometimes in life, we go through and because of miscommunication sometimes, because sometimes parents, they speak harsh words, not to offend the child, but to make sure the child goes along the right pathway. And so the child grows up, it tells us, and sometimes they forget about parents, because parents are old now. their home, their perhaps in a home, they're different places. And the scripture tells us we should never forget them. Don't wait until they close their eye and then we pray towards the Lord. But do that which we can when we have the opportunity. This is what our scriptures tells us.
Giridhari Murari Govinda, Giridhari Murari Govinda,
Giridhari Murari Govinda,
Giridhari Murari Govinda, Giridhari Murari Govinda, Ghanshyam Murari Gopala, Ghanshyam Murari Gopala, Giridhari Murari Govinda,
Giridhari Murari Govinda.
Om Ghanshyam Murari Gopala, Radhe Krishna Murari Gopala,
Radhe Krishna Murari Gopala,
Oh Radhe Krishna Murari Gopala,
Radhe Krishna Murari Gopala,
Giridhari Murari Govinda,
Giridhari Murari Govinda.
मेरी महबूब कयामत होगी, वो आज रुसवा तेरी गलियों में मोहब्बतें होगी। मेरे नजरे तो गिला करते हैं, तेरी दिल को भी सनम तुझसे शिकायत होगी। ओ मेरी महबूब, तेरी गली में आते सनम, नगमा वफा क्या गाते सनम, तुझसे सुनाना जाते सनम। फिर आज इधर आया हूँ मगर ये कहने मेरी वाना खत में बस आज वे शायद होगी। आज रुसवा तेरी गलियों में मोहब्बतें होगी। ओ मेरी महबूब कयामत होगी। आज रुसवा तेरी गलियों में मोहब्बत होगी। ओ मेरे महबूब, मेरी तरह तू आहे भरे, तू भी किसी से प्यार करे और रहे वो तुझसे प्रेम। तूने ओ सनम ढाए है सितम, तू भूलना जाना कितना तुझ पे तो बिनायत होगी। ओ आज रुसवा तेरी गलियों में मोहब्बत होगी। ओ मेरी महबूब कयामत होगी। आज रुसवा तेरी गलियों में मोहब्बत होगी। ओ मेरी महबूब तेरी गली में आत सनम, नगमा वफा क्या गात सनम, तुझे से सुनाना जाते सनम। ओ फिर आज इधर आया हूँ मगर ये कहने मेरी वाना गत में बस आज वेशायत होगी। आज रुसवा तेरी गलियों में मोहब्बत होगी। मेरे नजरे तो गिरा कर दे हैं मेरी दिल को भी सनम तुझसे शिकायत होगी। ओ मेरी महबूब
My dear viewers, I hope you've enjoyed this morning's Katha. And of course, Rudraaya continues with our health segment, followed by our corporate segment. We'd like to extend to you an invitation to join us next weekend, which is May the 24th, the 25th, and the 26th, for our daughter Ravisha Sharma's celebration of her 17th birthday. So it was her desire to have her celebration through a 3-session Gyan Yagna. So please come out and celebrate her birthday with her. That's Friday night at 6:30, Saturday night at 6:30 p.m. And of course, we conclude on Sunday morning. For now, we will go straight into our health segment. So I'd like to introduce to you Dr. Sachin Ramkisoon.
Sitaram and welcome to Health Corner. I am Dr. Sachin Ramkisoon, and this is the 3rd episode in our 7-part series on diabetes. Last week we spoke about type 1 diabetes. Today we will be speaking about type 2 diabetes and its risk factors. 95% of diabetics are type 2. As discussed in the first episode in our series, this is when the cells in our body do not respond to the effects of insulin, and therefore the blood glucose cannot enter the cells for use as energy. Type 2 diabetes is an extremely important health epidemic and is recognized as one of the leading causes of death and disability in the world. In type 2 diabetes, the cells in our body slowly become less responsive to insulin and can occur over years. This is why routine physical exams with your physician and fasting blood glucose levels are critical in determining if you are pre-diabetic or diabetic. There are certain risk factors for developing type 2 diabetes. These include having a first-degree relative with diabetes, being South Asian, West Indian, Aboriginal, Hispanic, or African descent, anyone over the age of 40, being obese, especially around the abdomen, having high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or heart disease, history of having a large baby over 4 kilograms, polycystic ovarian syndrome, and having a history of gestational diabetes, as 50% of women who are diagnosed with gestational diabetes will go on to develop type 2 diabetes within 20 years. It is important for our South Asian and West Indian communities to recognize that we are at a significantly higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes simply because of our genetics and lifestyle. It is estimated that 1 in 3 people in the South Asian or West Indian community will develop diabetes or pre-diabetes in their lifetime. Diabetes is very dangerous because your blood glucose can be very high, yet there are no symptoms. Only when the blood glucose is extremely high do you get the classic symptoms of type 2 diabetes. It is this lack of symptoms that makes this disease so dangerous, since chronically elevated blood glucose levels can cause damage to the organs of the body without the person realizing that it is happening. Some of the classic symptoms of high blood glucose levels are becoming excessively thirsty, urinating large amounts, and unexpected weight loss. Other symptoms include blurry vision, extreme fatigue, tingling in the hands or feet, or developing wounds or infections that do not heal properly. Anyone with these symptoms should have their fasting blood glucose tested. It is recommended that everyone over the age of 40 gets a fasting blood glucose test every 3 years through their family physician. If you are in a high-risk population, then this should be done earlier and more often. Next week, we will talk about how type 2 diabetes is diagnosed and how you can monitor your blood glucose at home. Feel free to contact me with requests and comments at maharudradevmandir@gmail.com. Thank you for joining me on Health Corner, and I look forward to speaking with you again next week on Rudraaya.
हो चल गई चल गई चल गई हो चल गई चल गई चल गई हो ऐसे उड़ती हवा जग में चल गई हो ऐसे उड़ती हवा जग में चल गई हो चल गई चल गई चल गई हो चल गई चल गई चल गई हो ऐसे उड़ती हवा जग में चल गई हो ऐसे उड़ती हवा जग में चल गई हो
My dear viewers, would like to thank all of you who came out to the seminar that was hosted by Lotus Funeral Home this past Thursday. And so thank you so much for supporting Kamalji, as he's also a proud supporter of Rudraaya and Maharudradev Mandir. We'll now join Kamalji for our corporate segment.
Sitaram and Namaste. My name is Kamal Bardwaj and I'm the owner of Lotus Funeral Cremation Center. I'm also a licensed funeral director. Taking care of our parents in their senior years can be challenging for many reasons. I'm sure that many people whose parents are independent and self-sufficient. But today I want to talk about those people who face a challenge due to their parents' health needs or due to their challenging behavior, such as with dementia. Family support is such a major part of the care of your parent. In cases where there is a behavior challenge, the family must be well educated to understand what the parent is going through, as well as show patience. For example, in my family, my sister and I share the responsibility in looking after our aging parents. The difficult part that most people face is balancing work schedules and looking after the needs of our parents. There are services available where there are professionals with daily caregiver support programs that look after the needs of elderly people. There exist several drop-in centers in the GTA that will provide vegetarian South Asian meals, as well as providing appropriate social programs that work with all behavior challenges. These centers will look after our parents if they are unable to stay at home on their own. Looking after our parents when they are alive is important as looking after our parents after they have passed away and funeral services are conducted. At Lotus Funeral, we treat parents as if they are our own family. Treating parents with dignity and respect at Lotus Funeral Cremation Center is of the utmost importance. Lotus is open 7 days a week and 24 hours a day to serve your needs. We are centrally located just off Highway 401 to serve all the families in the East End and the West End. The crematorium is located within our building, so we never have to travel outside in the weather. The hall sizes range from 500 seating to smaller ones. For Hindu families, all the puja items can be supplied, as well as a kirtan group if needed. We even have a reception banquet facility for those who want a reception after the funeral service. If you require more information, please call me on the phone number showing on the screen. Thank you for watching, and see you next week on Rudraaya. Sitaram.
Life is beautiful, but death is inevitable. I realized this when my dad passed away. So much pain, and amidst all this, the worry of arranging a funeral. Thankfully, in all this, Kamal stood by me. From the viewing to the cremation, he arranged it all at one location. Once someone is gone, they don't come back. But Lotus Funeral Home knows how to give them a respectable farewell.
Lotus Funeral Home. Life must be celebrated.
Charavayo samajan bet kar, Charavayo samajan bet kar. O sani nani, nani kir kinaran tirana, o kir kinaran tirana. Charavayo samajan bet kar, Charavayo samajan bet kar. सबको सीताराम कहते ओ सनी नानी, ओ सनी नानी, ओ सनी नानी 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 गिर किनारे किनारे किराना, गिर किनारे किनारे किराना. सिखाया उसका नाम और बाबू सिनाया. खांगाना उस्ताद सिखाया उसका नाम और बाबू सिनाया. खांगाना उस्ताद सिखाया, खांगाना उस्ताद सिखाया उसका नाम और बाबू सिनाया. सनी नानी, ओ सनी नानी, ओ सनी नानी 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 खिर किनारन किनारन किराना, किनारन किनारन किराना. काम sani nani, oh sani nani nani nani, kirkinarin kinarin kilana, oh kirkinarin kinarin kilana. Sharan Jarbayo, samaj mein bet kar, Jarbayo, samaj mein bet kar, sab koi Sitaram kare, oh sani nani, oh sani nani, oh sani nani nani nani, kirkinarin kinarin kilana, oh kirkinarin kinarin kilana, oh kirkinarin kinarin kilana, oh kirkinarin kinarin kilana.
My dear viewers, we've come to the end of another segment of Rudraaya. I hope you've enjoyed today's segment. Would like to thank our kind sponsors at Maharudradev Mandir, as well as our executive producer, Gauri Khan, for making Rudraaya possible. And of course, we know that during this time, we have a lot of graduation taking place. We would like to say congratulations to all of the graduates for this year. And of course, as we know, our children is entering high school and we have so much dreams for them. We dream of them becoming doctors and lawyers and physicians. But remember that a child's capability is a child's capability. So please ensure that you don't assess a child by something that they're not capable of. As Albert Einstein rightfully said, if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, the fish will spend its entire life thinking it is not capable, that it's stupid. So remember that when we are pushing our children to pursue not their goal based on their ability, but our dreams. Until we meet again next week, have a blessed week. Namaste. No, yarangi we all dance because why he win any Mac makeup in the first place? One play the tassa. Yeah, let me check your ticket.
शंभु महादेवा शंभु महादेवा
शंभु महादेवा शंभु महादेवा
हे गंगाधरा शिव गंगाधरा
गंगाधरा शिव गंगाधरा
हे गंगाधरा शिव गंगाधरा